Welcome to the Emo Social Club podcast, the podcast about music, news, and interviews. I am Brian.
And I'm Lizzie, and we're here with our new friends, local hometowners, Motel Breakfast. Real sorry, my brain just fritzed on there. I know you guys are. Motel Breakfast here with us this evening. Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having us. We've been confused. We've been announced as Hotel Breakfast at shows before.
Yeah.
So, wait, really?
Some people just it goes over their head.
Yeah.
My name's Jesse. I'm the drummer. I sing one song. They let me sing occasionally, so that's cool.
That's very nice of them.
Yeah.
This is my friend Mick.
Hey, I'm Mick. I do guitar. I don't sing any songs.
We do not let him sing.
Okay.
He is barred. Yeah.
Is he the Kevin Jonas of your band then?
Yes.
You're the Kevin for sure. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am the Kevin. I was really hoping to be the Joe, but I'll take Kevin in this case.
I don't know the difference of any of these people in the Jonas Brothers.
They don't let Kevin sing for a lot of reasons.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it's like, well, I don't think the Jonas Brothers are comparative to the Beatles, but in this case, I'm going to compare them to the Beatles.
We're really jumping the gun here really early, bestie.
I don't know. What, am I going to hurt the Jonas Brothers feelings or the Beatles feelings?
Well, half of the Beatles are dead. But
Yeah, they don't know. So, I mean, sometimes Ringo gets a song. Sometimes Ringo doesn't get a song, It's like you gotta give everybody a little bit just so they're happy, but it doesn't have to be the greatest and most brilliant thing in the world.
Poor Ringo. I was getting a bad rap over there.
He's not getting it for not reasonable reasons. Like
not for reasonable reasons.
Like it's reasonable. It's like, hey, good job, Ringo. It's like, oh, you guys keep shitting on Ringo. It's like, well, Octopus's Garden. Okay, cool. Yeah, really good song. Let's talk more about your band, though, not the Beatles or the Jonas Brothers. You are playing the Metro here in Chicago on 420 Blaze It.
420.
420.
Love it.
For the listener at home, we are all doing really cool Zoomer motions. I don't know.
Zoomer motions?
I don't even know
What
how
is
you can
that,
make
Brian?
that face, Mick.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit. Let's get some people hyped for it. Like, tell us about the show and tell us why they should come and see you.
So the Metro, we definitely the biggest venue we've played here in Chicago. There's plenty to pick from, and we're just lucky to have been working with them. We played at G-Man that is attached to the Metro a handful of times. Friends with Jerry, who books there now, so shout out Jerry. And yeah, it's our record release. We haven't released an album since 2020. We did an EP and some random singles in between then, but our last album release show was February 28th of 2020, and then the world shut down after that. So feels good to be back with another album. We got some bands joining us that we haven't announced yet that maybe we'll leak on here at the end of this. We also have some friends joining us on stage. Every time we play a big Chicago show, we like to just bring some extra bodies up there. So we'll have an organ player. A lot of times you have a trumpet player. This time around, I think we're going to have a friend up there playing guitar and synth and things like that. So we're stoked. We're probably going to play the whole album front to back, throw in some other stuff, maybe a cover or two. But yeah, 420 just happened to land on that. We're not a band that, I don't know if there's a lot of people out there smoking pot to our music, but if you do, that's cool. It's,
Yeah.
There's always somebody out there who just like blaze it, and you're like, homie, really?
We had a random guy reach out to us on Twitter, like asking if there would be like marijuana related events. That's the terminology he used. He's like, that's a marijuana holiday. Will there be any cannabis events? And I was like, no, but you're welcome to.
I mean, there's places around there he can just like go get some before.
I don't want to tell anyone to smoke weed inside the Metro. I'm assuming that's a no.
Yeah.
But step outside for a minute. It sounds fun. We're really not a stoner band. I want him to know that, though. Don't expect, slightly stupid vibes from us.
Yeah.
We can clip this and you can send it to him later just to like really reiterate the fact.
Yeah.
Like just send it him like 2 days before, be like, hey, reminder.
Hey, sorry, this is not a Grateful Dead concert.
We unfortunately will not have those socks that have the weed leaves on them with our
Tragic.
band name. Maybe that's a missed opportunity. I don't know. We have like a month or so maybe we can get those in the works.
Some fast printing on that.
Yeah, limited run.
Yeah.
Only so many weed socks.
There's like 3 pairs of socks. We really could only afford a couple.
You're like,
how many
only
we
3
got.
people will get the Motel Breakfast socks with the weed on them.
Yeah.
It is kind of unfortunate that we kind of are taking up some real estate on a really important day to some people, and I feel a little bit bad. I'm sure there's a reggae fusion band out there that's really pissed off that we took this.
I'm sorry to Sublime only.
Yeah, I'm sorry to Sublime without Rome.
Yeah.
No, now it's like the former lead singer's like son. So sorry to Sublime and the lead singer's son.
I think actually now they're broken up too.
Yeah.
We really can't win here.
I heard they broke up because they were looking for a show on 420 in Chicago, and it's like there's no open venues.
Specifically in Wrigley. They
Yeah.
really just needed a radius over that. And
Yeah.
we kind of we took that, unfortunately.
Their
Final
non-negotiable in their
straw.
contract was we have to play Metro, and they're like, nah, damn, these guys here, these little Chicago guys said absolutely not. This is my date.
Sorry.
Sorry, that Hotel Breakfast band, those fuckers.
Yeah. And then you can just look around and be like, yeah, Hotel Breakfast, they really suck. Yeah.
And you're like, that's so
guys.
crazy. It's not me.
It's like, but Motel Breakfast.
Motel
rules.
Breakfast kind of fucks though.
You
We
guys
did
are-
actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't a band that their name is Hotel Breakfast, didn't they follow us on Instagram and like they want to set up a show? They were like from Philly or something.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
they're a Philadelphia-based like punk emo band.
Oh shit. So kind of in line. It would work.
And I'm going to say there's a 50% chance, if we ever find ourselves touring out that way. I mean, we obviously reach out to them. The bit is too good to miss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, I'm just waiting for Japanese Breakfast
Yep.
manager to get back to us. She'll probably lead the show.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like you have to stick to the bit, but then to even more so elevate it, you have to play in either a motel parking lot or a hotel like banquet hall.
That would be the dream.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Denny's.
Denny's is the real dream.
Denny's
Yeah.
would be the
True.
real dream.
Yeah.
Playing in a Denny's is the real dream. Is such a like perfect way of summing up like the pop punk ethos. I think it's like we saw that shit, and now it's like we all have to do it. And then Blink 182 took it, and it's like now it's
You're
for
like,
everybody.
never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a band in Milwaukee called Bug Moment who we really like. We played a show with them, but they were going to set up a show in Culver's.
Yes, I saw that.
And it like blew up, because it's awesome. Like that's so funny.
And it was in the world's largest Culver's too.
It was the world's largest Culver's, and like Radio Milwaukee like blew it up, and so did I think like the Journal Sentinel, the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel wrote something to the point where I think it got so big that Culver's corporate kind of
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
to sweat a bit, and we're like, ugh.
They're like, all these punk kids are going to be here beating the
Yeah.
shit out of each other and then eating our burgers. Absolutely not.
So I think I don't want to talk about what happened. I don't really know what happened, but I think the plug got pulled on it last minute, which stinks because I would have been making that drive.
I would have been there, no doubt.
It could have fit everybody. I believe it. I've been to the world's largest Culver's. So it would make do.
It's got to be the most Midwest thing you can plan.
Oh
seriously.
yeah. I mean, here's
That
the
doesn't
thing.
exist outside of like these couple states.
If you like called their event booking coordinator, could you say, I want to rent this out? Like, what are they going to do if you just have a band, but you like rent it out? You own that Culver's for a day. Like, what are they going to do?
I don't think they do that.
I don't. They could. I don't know if you have enough money.
I don't know if that's just a thing.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
don't know. You can call like a local McDonald's and be like, "Can I just rent it for a day?"
Yeah, they're like no, this is that's the most like, sir, this is a Wendy's type response you're gonna get.
But it doesn't hurt to try.
doesn't hurt
played
to
in
ask.
Wendy's. People played in the Wendy's.
Like, they could. I'm just saying that I think they'd be like, no, this is a restaurant. We serve food here. We don't really rent it out for events. The McDonald's.
We were in the studio, like it was one of our last days in the studio, and I like drew the shortest straw and had to go buy a case of beer or something at the Whole Foods down the street. And there was a full funk soul band playing in the middle of Whole Foods at like 7:15 on a Friday.
Okay.
And the store was like more or less completely closed. There was not a single person inside besides this funk band playing. And it was kind of awesome, truth be told. Maybe we do something like that.
Yeah. Just set up in a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe those are,
A Jewel. I mean, that would be the real Chicago.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jewel.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get JoJo, the mascot, up in there too. You let him do something like it's Shake a Tambourine.
Love it.
You mentioned your record. It's coming out, and that's what the show is for. Not to derail us from the Jewel conversation. I realized that was abrupt. But so you have the record coming out. It's called I Promise I'm Having Fun, and it's out on April 5th. You're playing the whole record at that show, but tell us like what can people expect when you're going to be playing that, and what should they expect to hear on it when it comes out?
Yeah. Well, some of the singles are already out. One of the songs that will be on it, we actually released like over a year ago at this point. But there are a number of songs that folks, even if they have seen us before, might not have heard. April 5th's coming out. What else to touch on it? I don't know. Jesse, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, so we've been recording for I think like 2 full years. A lot of these songs were written, a couple years ago. Like I said, we haven't released a full album since 2020, so there's definitely been some time. And we're at the point where like all 5 of us in the band are songwriters. So like we have a lot of music to kind of workshop together and like do a lot of writing together. So we've had a little bit of a backlog of music. So a lot of these, it's like, it's really exciting to finally have them out in the world. And we're already kind of itching to we're getting ahead of ourselves, but we're already kind of ready for, for the next step as well too. I think for this album, since all of us at this point are like contributing songwriting wise, like the sounds on the album are a little bit different, which is really nice. So, Mick is more of the Midwest emo, like that's kind of what he listens to. And so he tends to write the songs with those kind of licks in it and things like that. Like one of our songs that Mick mentioned that's about a year old is MB as in Modern Baseball. That was the name that we just like named it in our notes app for a while because Mick had a lick that just reminded us of Modern Baseball. And that kind of came about. But then on the flip side, our bassist is, wrote a couple of these songs, and he's really into Radiohead and really into, a little bit more of the, almost, like Brian Eno kind of like background music and really, just like texture kind of thing. Right. And so, I don't know. It's cool to have a bunch of different sounds on this record. It still feels like us, even though it's kind of coming from a bunch of different places. I think we have 3 different singers on this record as well. The first album was just one singer, Jim, who is sick today, couldn't be here. He was singing the whole thing. He still sings about 80% of our songs, but it's nice to kind of have, contributions from a handful of us, except Mick. Like I said, we don't allow him to sing. So
Everybody but Mick. So sorry.
Everybody but Mick. So yeah, it's exciting. It's been a long time in the making, and boy, are we ready to have it out there.
And I will say, compared to some of your older stuff that I've listened to, this is much more, you have like those twinkly emo riffs that I wasn't expecting listening to you guys, because usually I would say, oh, you're more in line with like Whitney, which is not traditionally Midwest emo. So what kind of made you guys pivot to this different sounds outside of just like having different songwriters at this point?
A big thing was just, like Jesse said, is just having more songwriters. And then, truth be told too, I just kind of started experimenting with more of that style of writing songs. I myself didn't get into, emo and Midwest emo music until like college. So I'm not one of those like scene kids from way back when. So I just started learning the guitar. I told myself that's kind of how I wanted to approach songwriting. And that open tuning, kind of different, all kind of crazy tunings. I'd always kind of have fun with that. And then one day, I feel like it was when we first sort of started writing MB as in modern baseball. It just felt like that was a riff we were kind of headed towards, or that was like a feeling we kind of were doing, more on the indie side. I wouldn't necessarily put us in the emo realm, but we definitely are an indie band with a little bit of that, sound to it a little bit. But I think it all just kind of comes from me tuning my guitar differently one day and thinking, hey, let's see what this sounds like.
We genuinely started as like a banjo acoustic guitar band. Like Mick only played a banjo at live shows for like the first year that we were a band. And now that was like 7 years ago. But and so it's cool to like you mentioned some of the older stuff. That was definitely more so the acoustic guitar driven, like the mandolin was all over that actually too. And now we've, kind of fully changed that. A lot of it just from like, Mick kind of riffing on something specifically. It's also nice that when we kind of do some of these songs that enter into that, like kind of more Midwest emo punk, like, world, our main lead singer, Jim, doesn't have to play a guitar, and he loves just kind of being able to like own the stage with just a microphone, And so like, it's kind of nice live too, to experiment with that too.
And I also saw on your Twitter that somebody tweeted out, if people don't like this new record, you're going to bring the banjo back. I don't know if that's much of a threat, but for some people it might be. So how will you know if you need to bring the banjo back out on stage?
Listen, the banjo's coming back. This is actually our opportunity to tell you guys, if you guys are expecting Midwest emo on this upcoming album, you're so wrong. It could not be more 2010 Mumford & Sons. Expect Little Lion Man. Expect The Cave. Banjo solos, didgeridoos.
Not the didgeridoo.
Harmonicas.
Mick is solely in possession of our Twitter account. I don't even think the rest of us have the password. So if you
He said, I can't sing, I'm going to be the voice of our account.
Yeah, so if you see anything on Twitter, especially the bad stuff, it's Mick completely. Yeah. He does basically run the TikTok account as well, so that's why that one's a little bit off the rails sometimes.
I mean, that's what you need to be when you're on TikTok, though. So, like, I feel like that tracks.
Sure. But how will I know if the banjo's coming back? I don't know. We realistically, the banjo's never coming back, unfortunately. It'll break my mother's heart. She really likes when we play banjo. We do have time for, banjo stuff, and because weird little side, thing that we do is pretty commonly play like Irish traditional music. Just something we don't really promote, but it's something we all enjoy doing, obviously. So there's always time and a place for us to have fun with the banjo.
I never knew that we would ever meet a band that has a side project of just doing old school Irish covers or music.
We've actually we recorded a full album that lives on Bandcamp that is just traditional Irish songs. So if you're interested, St. Patty's Day is coming up.
Drop it. Everyone needs to add it to their playlist now. They're all on playlists. We
recorded it during COVID to raise money for some local charities. We grew up in a neighborhood that everybody's Irish Catholic. There you go, Pat Max Pack right there. Everybody's Irish Catholic in our neighborhood. So that was one thing that we all grew up with. But I forget that we actually have a whole Irish album that Mick home recorded, and it actually sounds pretty good.
I imagine,
but it only lives on Bandcamp. I don't know if it's ever leaving there. That's probably it'll probably stay there forever.
Nah, drop it on Spotify.
No, just have somebody leak it. Be like, damn, it leaked. That's so crazy.
Oh no, it leaked. Yeah.
Is it under the same name, or did you change?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like on our normal Bandcamp, like you could like buy a T-shirt from or something. It's just sitting up there.
Huh. So now will we have a Motel Breakfast St. Patty's Day specific shirt now?
I mean, we could. I mean, honestly, I can't believe we haven't done some sort of Irish themed merch before. But there's so much like Irish themed crap, for lack of a better word. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
we don't need more shamrocks.
You know, like the
No, that'll be the socks. It'll
The
be
socks are
shamrocks
weed.
and weed.
Yeah, weed or shamrocks.
Nobody
a
will
very
ever
niche
know.
overlap of the
Yeah.
people who smoke pot and listen to traditional Irish music.
Yeah.
That would be
Again,
pretty
3
funny,
pairs
though.
only.
Another shirt I've seen is like, you know how you got like a marijuana leaf and it says legalize it? It'd be pretty funny just to have a shamrock and it's just
Legalize it.
Okay, hold on, write that down.
Write it down. Write it down.
Write it
Yeah, underneath, you say blaze it.
We are sending
that's
you
really
to
good.
we're sending you to 1 Hour Teas like right after this interview.
Seriously, yeah. We have friends at Lucky Prince in Chicago. They're like right in West Town area. I'll have to hit them up after this and tell them we got one hot off the press.
Can you get these done by
Next
St.
month.
Patrick's Day? We need to
Yeah.
legalize being Irish.
Love it. So yeah, the banjo might come back. Who knows?
Who knows? I just got
When
a
you,
pair of
like-
bagpipes too. So
Oh, wow.
True.
Bring it all in together.
True. When like, I mean, I'm scrolling TikTok and I see a bunch of people who play guitar, just like doing Midwest emo riffs and coming up with like whatever, you know, makes sense for them. Like, oh, I'm a hyper pop guitarist. I'm a this guitarist. And it's like, man, just put a banjo in there. Just be like, oh, here's my like pop punk banjo cover. And it's just like, you're scrolling through, you see, you go, damn, like he's shredding. And like, this is just a twinkly little emo riff, but done on a banjo.
I've seen someone do like American football's Nevermind, but like folk, you know.
Yeah.
They got the banjo doing that little riff. I think Belmont had a song once with a banjo in it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Can we
They
make
did
it
like
up?
country song. Yeah. It was like a parody.
Country Girl, it was called.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a niche somewhere for us to cover like Hot Mulligan songs with the banjo.
Oh, yeah.
as
I
the
could see
lead
that.
guitar. That would actually be pretty dope, honestly.
Which
See,
Hot Mully song would you cover though? I love Hot Mully.
Yeah.
Mick, this is for you. He's the Hot Mulligan guy.
Let's
Yeah, now I
go.
gotta think about it. It'd probably be like, I'm just thinking of like Jim's ability to scream isn't that much, so I'd be concerned. I don't know. I'm just gonna say like Heem wasn't there just because I listened to that song an hour ago. Or like, I don't know, Drink Milk and Run. Let's do that one.
Okay, there you go.
I'm not a huge fan of Hot Mulligan, so I'm like, yeah, whatever one you do.
You're crazy.
If you made it more folk, maybe I like it more.
That's
It'd be
kind of
kind of
how I am.
fun. It'd be kind of fun to folk something up again. We haven't really went into that realm lately.
Well, also, Tades from Hot Mulligan lives in Chicago now, so why don't you just link up with him?
Yeah. Get him on it.
Fucking, I wish. Hey, Tage, what's up? Wanna hang out?
Come on out, Tades.
Hey, don't be a coward. Come out. You both played sold out shows on the 15th, so can't say anything about
I'm
it.
actually like in the Drink Milk and Run music video. I'm the groom. I don't know if you knew that.
I saw that like call for it, and I think we had an interview that night because it was just
Yeah.
in Downers. Because I got like the deets, and I'm like, this is the one time I wish I could cancel an interview because I can just go.
Yeah, it was in Downers Grove. And last minute, the director called me and said that their lead actor and actress dropped out. So asked if my girlfriend and I would do it. So we are the lead characters in that music
Hell
video.
yeah!
Weirdly enough.
Babe, get in the car. Hot Mulligan needs us.
That literally happened. And then we also had to run to a thrift store to get her like a wedding dress.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Because it was like a wedding themed. And I was like, hey, you know, because she's not a huge fan of theirs either.
She must really love you. She's like, I guess
Yeah.
I gotta do this.
Like, actually, I was like, hey, I know like we love to spend Sundays doing nothing, but how does driving an hour to the suburbs and being in a music production for a band you don't like for 6 hours sound? Like, does that sound fun to you?
And you also have to wear a wedding dress that's from
And you also-
Goodwill, like off the rack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have to like hang out in the back room of like a multi-purpose center for like 3.5 hours since they finished filming. Yeah, she was a real champ for that one. We had a really great time doing it.
That sounds sick as fuck. Like that honestly just sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan either, but I was like, man, I wish I could go to this music video.
I
shoot.
wish I could have
It'd be fun.
gone. I forgot who we interviewed that night. I was like, fucking pissed.
Go to the next one.
Let's talk a little bit about the singles you put out. The one, well, I was about to say the Wonder Years. Wonder Year.
Well, that's why it's named that.
That's where it came from.
I don't want to Motel Breakfast it. Yeah.
I read that. I was like, did they meant to put like the entire band name? Because it could be it, but maybe not.
We had to settle on it. I really wanted the name to be called Jesus Christ, I'm 26, which is like a quote straight from Passing Through a Screen Door.
Yeah.
So I had to meet in the middle and just name it Wonder Year.
Couldn't be that on the nose, huh?
I would have been so, that's fine. I like the new name.
There's like somebody was saying that there's so many songs now that are like either the lyrics or the titles of them are written for SEO. And then there was like people who were responding like, I wasn't thinking of SEO when I named my band. I was wearing H&M or some shit like that. I forget who said that. And that also should be the title of a song on somebody's album in the future.
Yeah, it could be your guys', so you just steal it right now.
Actually, I love that. I wasn't thinking of SEO when I named my band. Oddly enough, we kind of were thinking of SEO when we named our band. So when we named our band, we were just throwing shit at the wall to see what would stick. We were literally just like, not verb noun or like an adjective noun kind of thing. And somebody said Motel Breakfast. I don't know. It just got thrown out. And we Googled it to just like see what came up. And all it was like a couple guys writing really bad reviews about their Motel 6 like breakfast experience. And like that was it. It was just like a bunch of people like bitching about it online. And we were like, well, that's it. That's like, oh, that's hilarious. So yeah, not SEO in the way that like, we're really trying to optimize things, but SEO in the way that like all that existed were people complaining about Motel 6. So yeah, we'll take it.
Well, now when people search Wonder Years, they're going to find your song maybe too in there.
Yeah, just wait till the next our next single is Hot Mulligan, and then we're just gonna keep on. Well, we already have Modern Baseball. Shit, dude, we really are just doing this, huh? I didn't even realize that.
Just keep playing into the bit.
Yeah,
the kids like the bit.
In a way, like
this is our
like
next
Hot
song,
Mulligan
Ben
calling
Quad.
a song. Yeah, Hot Mulligan calling a song "All That I Want" by Michelle Branch, like.
Yeah.
And featuring Mark Hoppus. Like,
yeah, it's like clearly you're doing something. They're doing it too. So if anything, I learned it from them.
That was another name I wanted for Wonder Year. In the very beginning, I had pitched, I really wanted it to be called, quote, Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. I thought that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, we just got outvoted. That's why us two are on this call together.
Yeah, I was about to say. So you guys were supposed to have your primary vocalist, your 80% time vocalist, Jimmy, on here, but you said he's sick. So right now it's open floor. You can start any rumor you want about him right now,
I know,
or any of your other bandmates.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of the beauty about Mick running TikTok and Twitter, because Jim is not on Twitter or TikTok. And so we actually just do start those rumors anyway. We've been percolating on stuff for years because we know Jim will never see it. So Mick and I just text dumb ideas back and forth to each other. And then, we just kind of press send and hope for the best.
5 songwriters, 2 tweeters.
Well, that's where... 5 summer, yeah. Honestly, that's where. This is on Instagram, and everybody has access to Instagram. But we were like, let's do something for April Fool's Day, and Mick thought that it would be a good idea to make a poster. Macklemore just announced his tour around in March and April, and Mick was like, okay, well, let's put our name on the Macklemore poster and just put out in the world that we're touring with Macklemore. Like, awesome. To this day, it is our most liked post ever. We got texts from people like congratulations and shit. People were so excited that we were going on tour with Macklemore, and like we thought that it was like kind of obvious that we weren't doing that. Yeah. But we learned really quickly that like if you just lie on the internet, people believe it. So, it's fun, I guess.
It's this thing called the lack of media literacy.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
was
not
like
trying
poorly
to.
photoshopped too.
It was
Like,
poorly
this is,
photoshopped. It was on April 1st. And also the previous April 1st, we also said we were going on tour with Macklemore. So it was the second year. I really didn't think
So are
like
you guys
anyone.
going to go on tour with Macklemore this summer is what you're telling us
Yeah.
right
Yes.
now.
If he would just answer a single email, we could make it happen.
Listen, everyone loves Thrift Shop. Where's the banjo version?
Right? Where's the Midwest emo version of Downtown?
you're talking to Mick, a very non-ironic Macklemore fan. He loves.
Were you
loves
at
him.
Were you at his Aragon show?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I haven't been a fan in a while. I think The Heist was a really good album. I also thought This Unruly Mess I Made was another amazing album. Then I gave up listening. I haven't actually been a fan in a while. But I have seen him 5 or 6 times, and I've enjoyed every single one of them.
I've heard he's
Wow.
great. I've heard he's really entertaining.
Hell yeah.
Like, you're not gonna have a bad time at that Macklemore show.
At the very least, you're going to hear Thrift Shop.
Yeah.
At the very least, you're going to.
Now, here's the thing. When will you go on tour with AJR? Not AJJ, the other one, the bad one.
I mean, hey, we have said from the beginning of this band that we would sell out in a heartbeat and go on tour with any band that we think we don't like. So yeah, AJ, if you want to take us on a world tour, fuck it, we'll do it.
Greta Van Fleet, we're right there.
Greta Van Yeet.
Imagine Dragons, we'd love to.
What about, so even though Kings of Leon's new album is coming up on your day, would you go on a worldwide tour with them?
Those bastards named their album like the same thing that we named our album. So our album name is I Promise I'm Having Fun. And what is theirs? Like, Can We Have Fun Now or something like that? Like,
Can we have fun? I think.
Can we just have fun? I would go on tour with Kings of Leon. I love their first record is actually
Their first
like
record smacks.
gold, but then they just got too famous and like
I randomly
turned into
heard
kind of
them
a
on
pop band.
I heard them on Sirius XM Octane last year, like only 4 months ago, and I'm like, why is Kings of Leon on here? Sex and on Fire is not a metal song,
Yeah, Octane, yeah.
but they came out with like a butt rock song, and I'm like, is this how they sound now? I don't know if I like this.
I'm afraid to listen. I mean, yeah. First album was a work of art. I haven't.
Yeah,
really.
Sex on Fire, fantastic. It's the first song I saw by them on Fuse.
Was that like SNL or something?
No, Fuse. It was like modern MTV in like 2010.
Got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of those channels you have to have the good cable package for.
Yeah.
What is the most emo song you are listening to right now?
I've been super into Ben Quad lately. Blood for the Blood God, I think, is just such a cool song. And also a guy named Harrison Gordon. I've been really super. Me, Jesse, and I the same. Who's kind of out of Champaign. Does sort of. I don't know if it's emo. I wouldn't know what to put it in, but he's got a song called Bleach that I really, really love.
Yeah, I was gonna say Harrison Gordon. Mick showed me his record. The Yuppies Are Winning, and it's a great record. I think is he still in school? I think
he's still in
shout out
Oh.
Harrison.
You got that hard copy.
Physical media?
Yeah, well, it came with a sticker that I love. It says, and I got it on my case over there. It's like in the theme of a political sticker. It says Harrison Gordon 2024, make my dick work again. And I thought that was one of the funnier things.
Oh no.
And I think it's a one of one sticker. And he said the next person to buy a CD gets the sticker. And I just
You said
Straight to
me.
the table.
ran to the link in bio. I really wanted it.
All right, that's awesome.
What was the inspo for some of your songs that you've chosen as singles, and also overall the album that you're currently going to eventually play a show and maybe tour on? What really like triggered you guys to like get in and do this, especially since you've been in development for this for about like almost like 4 or so years?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I think since a lot of these songs are a little older, there's a little nostalgia in there. I think we wanted to, kind of channel that in a lot of the songs. And I think maybe, that's almost where we leaned into the Midwest emo kind of twinkly guitars a little bit more too. Like I grew up on a little bit more of that kind of stuff. And, so yeah, I mean, a little bit of that. It's just this is the first album that all 5 of us have contributed to, like, writing lyrics and like kind of from the ground up. And so, it feels like a new version of us in a way. And so, yeah, as far as like what really like inspired it or kind of brought us, to that, it's really just the fact that we all, are friends and all are sending each other music back and forth constantly. And so that's just, I don't know, it's not the best answer, but that's kind of like, well, that's all it is. It's like, it's these voice memos that just kind of turn into songs, and it's like, okay, like these work together. Right. And like, let's put it out. It's about time.
Were there any like specific artists or songs that you were like, I want to do this, or I'm stealing Hot Mulligan for this or any other artists like that?
There's a song,
I mean, even like 2 years ago.
Like,
yeah.
Sorry. There's a song on the record, that I wrote, that I definitely just wanted to write a Slaughter Beach Dog song. I love those guys. I love modern baseball, and I just like love the way that they sing and like the cadence of the words and things like that. And so 100%, I just wanted to rip off, something that they did for sure, at least for one of the songs.
Yeah.
I feel like another of the unreleased songs, we very much were like, how cool would it be to write a Talking Heads song? Like, what's our version of a Talking Heads song? So yeah, there's definitely a bit of that. And then, you always kind of set out to write a song in the style of a band, and then you always end up kind of falling short of what they would sound like, but that ends up being what you sound like. So yeah.
Yeah. That's usually why I say just, I'm going to rip off this shit and then I don't care, because it's not going to sound like them. It's going to sound like me doing them, and that's going to create my own sound out of it versus like
all the good songs were written already. So just like start ripping off old ones. They'll eventually kind of sound like your own new stuff.
Yeah.
We say constantly when we're practicing or writing that every song sounds the same. Like every song's the same. Like, it's okay. You can write, you can continue to do that. So it's nice to keep in the back of our heads.
It's only 13 notes,
You can only do so much with it.
It's only 13 notes, and we only know like 3. So
4 or 5 at the most. Yeah.
The next record, you're going to learn the 4th.
Maybe. Tall task.
Since you're from Chicago, let's talk a little bit about the music scene here. What do you think about the music scene in Chicago specifically? Like, obviously you're playing the most legendary venue in Chicago for the show, but where else do you like to play shows? Where else have you seen bands that you've absolutely loved? Is there any other up and coming bands that you're like really into in Chicago?
The music scene in Chicago is beautiful. It's awesome to be a part of it. You mentioned Whitney earlier. They are people that we aspire to be, like they inspire us for sure. Twin Peaks isn't really around anymore, but that is another band that like we've kind of followed, years ago, together. As far as venues go, I mean, we've played at the Empty Bottle, such a beautiful place. Talia Hall we haven't played at, but I've seen so many shows there. That's maybe my favorite venue in the city. And then like Lincoln Hall comes, to mind. We got the chance to play there a year or 2 ago. And that venue's just like, it's like new, which is nice compared to some of the other venues where like everything's just like really nice in there. Yeah. But overall, I mean, we feel so lucky that we are in Chicago, like, and there's such a thriving scene. And before Mick answers, what bands are like up and coming? Neptune's Core is this band that they're like 17-year-olds.
I know.
Like,
I saw them at House of Vans last year. My old intern manager, Miss Alex White from White Mystery, was like, "Yeah, I used to babysit them." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
It's insane. They're in high school, and like they're now going to South by this year. They're actually playing the Metro with Frico on Friday, I think. Yeah. So if you're into another Metro show, that's Frico and Neptune's Core. Frico, another band that's like getting all the buzz in the world. I don't know. There seems to be a new band all the time. Like Chicago just is breeding them, and it's so cool to kind of see everybody thrive.
Yeah. Jesse, I mean, pretty much summed up all of the favorite venues. I just went to a venue called Book Club for the first time. It's all the way up in I want to say Ravenswood. It might be.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
But that was really cool. I couldn't tell if it was a DIY space or not. You could look it up on Google Maps, so that made me believe it was a real venue, but it was very much just someone's living room, so that made me feel like it was a DIY space.
Yeah.
But in terms of bands coming up, I just saw actually at Lincoln Hall last weekend a band called Totally Cashed, and they blew me away. They're so awesome. They put on a show called Rage Forest Cafe. They must have 9 people on stage at one point, just headbanging, and so cool. I love those guys. They make some genuinely awesome music, and they also make country tunes, but still sound screamy and thrashy, which I love. And they just put out a noise song. It's a punk rock noise mix song that ends with 5 seconds of hardcore static.
Oh my God.
It's really cool. Those guys, they rock.
Rage Forest Cafe is my new favorite phrase now.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking rules.
Just incredible. We also we're homies with Rick Wilson and his band. His trumpet player will play with us occasionally, and so Rick is doing big things, and it's cool to see him playing shows in Europe and things like that. So check him out if you're unfamiliar.
One thing we know for sure is that even after your Metro show, people are going to be asking, when and where are you going on tour? Is there any tours on the lineup? Did you find a booking agent? Because I saw your Twitter. Seems like Jimmy may lose it if he has to book a tour.
Yeah, if anyone wants to be our booking agent, we cannot pay well. Yeah, we're definitely got a tour in the works. Most of which will be announced fairly soon. Yeah,
that's the loudest rapper ever. That's insane, dude.
I was gonna eat a piece of gum. Sorry. Yeah, we're going on tour soon. That static you heard was not.
It was actually that noise.
It's the noise.
It was that noise song you were telling us about.
Yeah,
I
was playing Totally Cash New song. I definitely wasn't only opening a pack of Trident layers. But yeah, tour announcement soon, I assume. We probably won't announce anything until after the Metro and just put all our promotional stock into that. Yeah. But yes.
Yeah, I think we're sticking in the Midwest for this upcoming tour. We have a couple shows in Milwaukee. We actually are playing in Milwaukee on Friday. So Milwaukee's a second home to us. Mick lived there a couple of years. Our Jim lived there for 8 years. So Milwaukee definitely feels like home in a lot of ways too. So we'll be there on Friday with our boys Diet Light, another dope band from Midwest.
We talked about Wonder Year, Fairview Avenue, and MB, as in Modern Baseball, as the singles. What was it about those songs when you were putting this record together that had you choose those the singles to put out, or put some energy behind those versus the ones that are just on the record, which could be a single later? Who knows?
I think MB, at least, we wrote it in a day, and it just felt right. That song just kind of came about, and all of us were I think we wrote it on a Thursday practice, and we played it live on Saturday. We were all so excited about that song, how it kind of came about, and it was really quick. And so that one was kind of a no-brainer for us. And that one seems to be received pretty well. And so that's been great. And then the other two, I don't know, at least from my point of view, they're a little bit different. Wonder Year and Fairview are kind of opposites in a lot of ways. And so, that was a little bit of the strategy there, I think.
Cool.
Are there other ones on the album that you want to put out as singles later?
Oh, well, so we do have Orchard that we do have out already will be on the album. So Wonder Year is our last song that is released from the record. Between now and April 5th, you won't have another MB song. So listen to what we got out there right now.
Yeah, listen to the 5 singles already out. You'll get a pretty good idea of the album.
You'll be able to be am I going to be at this gig or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you'll like something. That's why, maybe that's why we vary the genres a little bit. You can't hate them all is the idea.
And if you hate them all, you just hate music.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What type of collab would you do, and who would you want to do it with? So if you had guest vocals, or you had somebody as like a guitarist or a banjo player, a mandolin player,
Macklemore.
come on there, who would you want it to be with?
Probably Macklemore. I don't know. Jesse, you know someone? There's a countless number of names I could say, but yeah.
We would love, just keeping it hometown. We would love to put out a song with Rick Wilson. We've actually floated that with him before, because he's a rapper, and it's he's a rapper, and it's like funk and soul, and it he has this really cool sound. And we would just love to be his backing band, for a song. And so that was at least the first thing that came to mind for me. And then, I don't know, as far as a specific guitarist, we're just really lucky that we know a lot of really talented people. So we have friends that we like their voices, and that they're on the album already. And that trumpet player I mentioned, he's on, so we're just lucky. We got a lot of people that we just want to involve. And we're lucky enough that they say, cool, sure. So, yeah.
We'll go ahead and we'll get into the plugs, where people can find you on the internet, where they can get the tickets to the show, where they can pre-save the album, all that stuff, where they can find the Irish folk music on your Bandcamp, anything like that, that you want to shout out so they know where to go.
Most importantly, the Irish folk album is on Bandcamp.
Yep.
I think it's called Irish All the Same.
Yep.
We wrote
That's
a couple
really what
originals.
We're promote.
This Irish album
This is actually the main thing.
We recorded it on cheap microphones and shit. But that's cool. Listen to that. You could also donate money via that, and we donated to Pat Max Pack. So shout out Pat Max Pack. Album, everything be on Spotify. That's where most people listen. It'll be on Apple Music, all that fun stuff. Metro tickets on sale, metro.com. I'm sure that's probably the easiest to find it. Link in the bio. Follow us on Instagram and specifically Twitter, so you can hear mine and Mick's thoughts on everything. And that's where we will start rumors about the other band members, because they are not on that platform. Then TikTok. We are continually making content on TikTok for fun. And so that'll be good. There's a music video coming out. We'll have a merch and stuff. We're doing some cool embroidery merch coming up. And we're pretty loud on the internet. We're all chronically online. Not all. Mick and I are chronically online.
Yeah.
So
you have to have a designated group of people in the band who are chronically online all the time. Otherwise, you will never thrive.
You got to have at least one or two, and so that's Mick and I.
You got to know what's hot. What's stewing on the internet. We got to know
You got to be up on the trends.
You got to be up on the trends, on the TikTok noises, on etc.
And skibbity toilet and everything.
Yeah, I don't get that one still.
That one I don't really fully understand either.
It's awesome. It's so good. I get it.
I think I aged out of that one.
As generally the oldest one in every room that I walk into, I tell other people about Skibbity Toilet. I'm like, you gotta check this out. It's so good. And what the hell am I watching? It's the toilet, the heads in the toilets. They come down. They're like the enemy, and the TV and the camera guys, and they got TVs for heads. They're the good guys.
Oh my god.
And I don't really get invited to a lot of rooms to be the oldest person in anymore. They don't really.
If there's one thing that I want the band to be considered, it's trendy. So,
well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And obviously, everybody listening should go and check out the show when this comes out. You still have time to get tickets. Go get them now. And, blaze it if you do on 420.
Just outside the venue.
Yeah, outside the venue.
Definitely not inside the venue.
Do not blaze it inside the venue. Weed style. This makes me sound like I definitely know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Do not blaze it weed style in the show.
You can't blaze it in your vape pen either.
Do not blaze it in the show. Blaze it outside the show, but do blaze it for the breakfast. I don't know. You can,
Okay, you went too far.
Blaze it in like for vibes.
Yeah.
The vibe should be blazing.
Vibes should be blazing.
Metaphorically blaze it.
Yeah.
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 Inside, physically blaze it outside. There we go.
Physically blaze, metaphorically blaze inside.
It's just
There
like
we
one of those
are.
meme pics of like the like your brain is like going
Yeah.
to like Megamind energy. That's like literally just what that was.
Yeah.
Megamind.
Take all of this
He's
for your
our
marketing.
muse for the
Yeah.
album is Megamind. So
Okay, that makes sense.
And Boss
Yeah.
Baby.
and Boss Baby. Can't forget Boss Baby.
Sick. Well, yeah, make sure you're following Motel Breakfast on everything. You're at the show. And once again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah, thanks
Cool.
for having
Thank
us.
y'all.